everyone, happy Tuesday. I wanted to share with you what I did over the weekend, and that was firstly I went to the Canadian National Exhibition, that's the CNE. It's hosted in Toronto, Ontario, and it is really just kind of like a carnival in a sense, and there's a lot of games and food and stuff like that going on. Secondly, I went to the CanFitPro Expo. Link in the description below to take a look at that. I wasn't too impressed by it, and I don't know if it's because it's a Canadian fitness expo. I'm not too well versed on Canadian fitness expos in general. However, from what I've seen from the American ones and the ones hosted in the United States, they tend to be a lot more elaborate, larger, and just more vast, bigger companies, bigger brands, things like that. So I wasn't very impressed with the Canadian one, with the CanFitPro Expo. However, during this expo, I actually managed to pick up 2 new pieces of fitness gear. And if you want to, just side note, if you want to take a look at some of the fitness gear I currently have, you can do so right here. Have a look at that video. Also link in the description below. I posted something up recently talking about how I picked up a few new fitness items, and I shared those with you guys basically. So have a look at that. I picked up 2 foam rollers previously, and I broke the first one. Contacted the eBay seller whom I purchased it from, and he actually sent a second one to me at no cost, so I was pretty impressed by that. The only thing is I ended up breaking that one as well. So I've decided I needed a little bit more of a hefty, sort of strong type of foam roller, in which I basically picked up one at the CanFitPro Expo. It cost me 60 bucks, and here it is. So this one is a little bit more hardcore than the other ones, and the reason being is actually it's not hollow as the previous ones are. You can see right here it's got this little sort of foam in the middle, which really prevents it from collapsing to the extent that the other ones did. It's also quite large as well. It's significantly longer than the other 2 that I have. So the reason I picked this one up, and it actually cost me $60, it's a little bit more than the others, I just really feel that they're beneficial. It's helped me through a lot of my recent injuries and more injuries in relation to going to the gym and doing fitness type of stuff that I've been doing lately. So I actually had a shoulder injury. I still have that going on. It's my left shoulder here. I posted up a video on that. You can take a look at that right here. And I posted that a while ago, so this injury has actually been staying with me for quite some time. For the most part, I'm just training through it. So this foam roller is definitely helping. I've used it a few times. It's called a rumble roller. So I'll put the link in the description below if you want to check out some rumble rollers on eBay, Amazon, and some other sites. I highly recommend this. It was actually used in the P90X videos as well by the host. So that's one of the places I initially saw it, and basically opted to go ahead and purchase one myself, and I definitely think it's a worthwhile buy. So that's that. Next, what I actually ended up purchasing, and this was sort of a joint purchase, and I recommend you doing so too if you have any buddies or friends or family or anyone who goes to the gym or exercises with you, and you want a particular fitness item. You may not want to spend the full amount for it. So what I ended up doing was going halfsies or splits with a buddy of mine who actually trains with me. And we picked up a Hex Bar. Now what a Hex Bar is, it's great for shrugs, it's great for bent over rows, it's great for deadlifts. So I'll show that to you now, and it's quite heavy, so I'm just going to try and squeeze it in the frame here. So this is a Hex Bar. And as you can see it, essentially what you do is you just sort of hold the handles. You got both handles here. And what you're doing is centering yourself inside the Hex Bar. And you're going to basically be really just bent over rows while you're inside the bar, doing your rows or doing shrugs. It's a great tool to have. And the reason I actually picked this up was because I just want to elevate my fitness game a little bit. I want to develop my traps a little bit more. I want to develop my back a little bit more. Things like that. Things that I feel that this would really be helpful in doing, versus just using the stuff that's currently in the gym that I have access to right now. So it just made sense. It ran me about $130, and that was split between 2 people. So you know what? It's not that bad. And I definitely recommend, if you have a friend, family member, anyone who you do work out with, split an item with them, or go half on an item with them, because it's a little bit motivational in the sense where you both share that with each other. You can both use it. You can both go to the gym and really enjoy the item you purchase. So it's sometimes people buy some fitness stuff and they just put it to the side and they never use it. If you buy it with someone else, it's likely that the 2 of you are going to use it together. So I definitely recommend considering doing that if there's a large fitness item that you're interested in purchasing. Link in the description below to some Hex Bar exercises and some Hex Bars that you can purchase, and they can be shipped to your door for a pretty reasonable price. I'm just going to set this aside. Okay, so now aside from that, what I actually did do was, the second activity for the weekend, aside from the CanFitPro Expo, was go to the Canadian National Exhibition, and this is the CNE. It's very popular here in Toronto and in Canada in general. Many tourists go there, many people from all over the country travel into Toronto and go to the CNE. It's quite a large attraction, so it's pretty fun. I'll put the link in the description below to that. You can take a look. If you are visiting Toronto, I would recommend checking it out. It's definitely a worthwhile visit, and it's pretty reasonably priced. The problem with the CNE, and this is a problem I experienced this year as well, was the food when you go in there is just awful. It's terrible. It's all deep fried, it's all fatty, it's all processed, it's all that just, it's not the best stuff in the world. They have Krispy Kreme donuts with a burger in between and another Krispy Kreme donut on the bottom, and then they deep fry it and glaze it in chocolate and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's really just not good food at all. Now, I can understand if you go to an event like this and you just want to indulge a little bit and you just want to have, that kind of snack. Maybe it's a once a year sort of thing. But the people that I saw at the exhibition, the people that I actually saw walking around the CNE were, words really can't describe how unhealthy these people looked. So, I saw whole families just waddling about, and I would use the word waddling because that's exactly what they were doing. I mean, they're just massive, huge, unhealthy people in the audiences, in the crowds, and everywhere we were. I was a little taken back by it. So I wanted to address this issue because it's really something that's a little bit disturbing, because I understand that if you're an adult and you have children, and for you, if you choose to take in garbage foods and you choose to go to these things and eat whatever you want, then it's I suppose it's understandable. I mean, that's your choice, that's your life. Do whatever the hell you want to do. However, when it comes to the children, when it comes to the families that I saw there, that's where it becomes a little bit unacceptable, in my opinion. I see families really just allowing their kids to eat to eat donuts and all sorts of just garbage crap, deep fried Mars bars and all sorts of stuff like that. And if it was something that was a rarity in that child's life, it was something that they didn't have too often, again, I could see that it's understandable. Obviously, a kid needs to have some fun and have some sugar now and then. Why not? It's builds memories, right? So what I don't get, though, is how that child looks the way they do. Their health issues are very transparent. You can see it. You can see it transfer from the parents straight through to the children. So you have these large, unhealthy parents walking around, and that they're feeding their children garbage. That this isn't just a rarity. These crappy foods aren't just a rarity for them. They probably will go and take their kids to McDonald's the next day for lunch. So these things are what bothers me, and that's what I really noticed at the expo, and I was really just disappointed by it in general. I don't think I could say that I saw more unhealthy people than I did healthy, and I guess that's the case for a lot of places where you'll go, but this seemed like it just was a cluster of unhealthy people all together in the same area and just eating garbage foods. It just caught me off guard, and it's something I felt like noting. So if you're a parent and you have a child and you're watching this video, what I recommend doing is, before you consider taking your child to a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a Burger King, and I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but consider healthy alternatives for your kids, because you know what, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. If your kid's blowing up like a balloon, he's getting depressed, he's getting made fun of at school, or she, it's just not worth it. It's detrimental to their health, it's detrimental to their well-being, and I definitely recommend you look at alternative sources of food for your child. That's all I wanted to discuss. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm sure that a lot of people share a similar opinion to me, but if you don't, leave it in the comment section down below. Otherwise, you can leave it on any of the other social sites. And I'll see you on Thursday.